Hello, Year 6. Nice to see you all again. We hope you've had a good week and that you've managed to keep yourselves busy and occupied and hopefully had some fun as well. Rusty and I have, as you can probably see. We've been playing hairdressers. Our hair, both of our hair's grown so long we don't know what to do with it. So we gave Rusty a lovely set of plaits, and doesn't he look beautiful? He's such a good boy. Anyway, back to the story. We're getting through it and it's getting really interesting. Well, I like it anyway. So Zoe, let's get comfortable and we'll see how Zoe's getting on with baby Rat Armitage. Here we go. Okay, Ratburger. Story so far. Okay, so our little heroine Zoe, her mother died when she was very young, had a happy life with Dad until Sheila, the horrible stepmother, came along and ruined things. Her hamster, Ginger Nut, mysteriously dies, but she befriends a little baby rat that she's taken to school with her so that her stepmother doesn't find it. It's hidden away in her pocket and she's called it Armitage, after the name printed on the toilet where she's in hiding at the moment. And the bully, Tina Trotz, is banging on the door demanding to be allowed in, or for Zoe to get out before she smashes the door down. So here we go. Zoe quickly put Armitage back in her blazer pocket. "I'm just having a wee," said Zoe, and then she made a rather pitiful sound that she hoped would sound like water gushing into a bowl. By pursing her lips and blowing, it ended up a bit more sounding like a snake hissing. Psst, psst. Of course, Zoe's hoped that this would convince Tina Trotz that she was using the toilet for legitimate purposes only and not feeding a bread sandwich to a long-tailed rodent. Zoe then took a deep breath and opened the toilet door. Tina stared down at Zoe, two of her usual goons flanking her. "Hello, Tina," said Zoe, in a voice quite a few octaves higher than her usual one. In attempting to play the innocent, she felt like she was giving the appearance of someone who was in fact exceedingly guilty. "Oh, it's you. Who are you talking to, breadface?" demanded Tina, leaning into the cubicle. "Myself," said Zoe. I often talk to myself whenever I'm passing water." "Passing what?" Having a wee. So, if you'll excuse me, I'll have to be off to my history lesson now." With that, the little ginger girl tried to ease past Tina and her foot soldiers. "Not so fast," said Tina. "Me and my gang own these bugs. We sell stolen gear from here. So unless you want to buy a trainer we nicked, sod off." Don't you mean a pair of trainers?" inquired Zoe. "No, I mean a trainer. They only put one out on the shelves, so it's much easier to steal one than two." Okay, mused Zoe, not sure why anyone with 2 feet would want to buy one shoe. "Listen, Ginge," continued the bully. "We don't want you in our bogs, you hear? Putting off all our customers, talking to yourself like some nutter." "Understood," muttered Zoe. Very sorry, Tina." "Now give us your money," demanded Tina. "I don't have any," replied Zoe. She wasn't lying. Her dad had been on benefits for years, so she never received any pocket money. When she walked to school, she would scour the pavement for coins. One particularly lucky day, she'd found a £5 note in the gutter. It was wet and it was dirty, but it was hers. Skipping home in delight, she stopped off at Raj's newsagent and bought a whole box of chocolate to share with her family. However, before Zoe's dad got home, Her stepmother had scoffed every single one, even the dreaded cherry liqueurs, before gobbling down the box too. No money? Likely story, splattered Tina. Splattering is a bit like spluttering, but the person being talked to ends up covered in spit. What do you mean? Said Zoe. We both live on the same estate. You know I don't have any cash. Tina scoffed. I'll bet you get your pocket money. Always walking around like you own the place. Girls, grab her. Like clockwork, the bully circled our little heroine. The two goons seized her arms tightly. Ah! Screamed Zoe in pain. Their fingernails were digging into her little arms as Tina's large, dirty hands started rooting in her pockets. Zoe's heart started pounding. Armitage the rat was lying asleep in her breast pocket. Tina's chubby fingers were poking and prodding everywhere, and within seconds they would come in contact with a small rodent, and Zoe's life at school would change forever. Bringing a rat into school was not something you would ever live down. Once, a boy a few years ago had mooned out of the coach window on a school trip to the Railway Museum, and ever since then he'd only ever been called Hairy Bum by everyone in the school, even the teachers. Time slowed down and then speeded up as Tina's search for money invariably led to Zoe's breast pocket. Her fingers thrust in and poked poor little Armitage on the nose. What's this? Said Tina. The little ginger's got something living in there. No, Armitage must not have taken kindly to being prodded by a big dirty finger on the nose, because he bit it. Ah! Screamed Tina. Her hand shot out of Zoe's pocket, but Armitage was still attached, clinging on with his sharp little teeth dangling from her finger. It's a rat, squealed the bully. It's only a baby rat, reasoned Zoe, trying to calm Tina down. She was afraid she might smack Armitage against something and hurt him. Tina started shaking her hand violently as she ran around the girls' toilets in utter panic. However, the baby rat would not let go. The goons stood as still as statues, searching their tiny brains for the appropriate response to rat attached to finger. Unsurprisingly, nothing seemed to come to mind. Hold still, said Zoe. Tina kept running around. I said hold still. Seemingly shocked by this authoritative tone from a small ginger girl, Tina stopped moving. Carefully, as if dealing with an angry bear, Zoe took Tina's hand in hers. Come on, Armitage. And carefully she prized the rat's sharp front teeth off the large girl's finger. There you go, said Zoe, in the manner of a dentist who'd just given a child a mildly painful filling. Come on now, tut-tut, it wasn't too bad. That little bleep bit me, protested Tina, revealing herself as the likely author of the insulting message on the toilet door. The bully examined her finger, 2 tiny drops of blood oozing out the tip. Tina, they are nothing more than pinpricks, replied Zoe. The 2 goons craned their long necks to get a closer look and nodded their heads in agreement with Zoe. This infuriated Tina, and her face went a fiery red like a volcano about to explode. There was an eerie silence for a moment. I'm about to die, thought Zoe. She is actually going to kill me. And then the bell rang for the end of break. Well, if you'll excuse us, said Zoe, more calmly than she felt. Armitage and I don't want to be late for history class. Why is he called that? Grunted one goon. It's a long story, Zoe said, who wasn't about to tell them he was named after the toilet. Another time perhaps. Goodbye. The three bullies were too shocked to stop her. Cupping her little friend in her hand, she strolled out of the toilets. Just clear of the door, she realised she wasn't actually breathing and she should probably start again. She gave Armitage a little kiss on the head. You are my guardian angel, she whispered, before placing him carefully back in her breast pocket. Zoe suddenly realised Tina and her gang might be following her, so without looking back she quickened her pace. The stroll became a stride and the stride became a sprint, and before she knew it she was sitting breathlessly in her history class, which was presided over by Miss Midge. As the history teacher was an exceptionally short lady, she had inevitably been given the nickname Miss Midget, or more simply, Midget. Right, I'm going to leave it there, okay? Click straight onto part 2 and we'll carry on with the story.